Welcome to Home and Away, a Tottenham Hotspur podcast hosted by myself, Graham Spice, and Glen Cowie, where we discuss all things Tottenham Hotspur with both a match attending and international supporters view. This episode, we talk about last Monday's Leeds home match, and we preview the Chelsea game this Tuesday night. West Ham blinked. Now Spurs have to decide whether they're brave enough to finish the job. A lot to discuss. Let's get into it.
Let me be the one that you turn to, someone you can rely on, closer each day, home and away.
Glenn, are you good?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I'm dawning a...
Woken to the news.
Yeah. Tottenham jumper after woken up this morning by my wife with a coffee about 6:30, and she said, "So are you going to watch the mini match of the West Ham game? Would you want me to just tell you the score?" I said, "Just tell me the score." And she goes, "It was 3-1," and I go, 2. She has new boss. So I was like, "Okay." And I said, "I'm surprised that you were like checking the score." She goes, "Glenn, I don't know what I'll do if this actually was to happen. Like, I don't know what's going to happen to you."
Yeah.
So, yes, I'm good off the back of that result. I was out in the wilderness, as some of our community knows, in the WhatsApp group. Did a volunteered at a scout camp with my son and my daughter. Wilderness, when I say there was no running water, there was no toilets. It was interesting, but an enjoyable weekend, nevertheless. So, yes, I'm well. How are you, mate? You keeping well? Good weekend?
Yeah,
Didn't watch the West Ham game, right? Or watch some of it?
I didn't. Again, I've become really superstitious this last few months. I didn't want to watch it in case I jinxed it, so I thought I just kept an eye on the score, which was enough. And then I kept an eye on our WhatsApp groups, and there was enough people. I've also got a Slack message group for all the guys I used to work at Amazon with, keeping in touch with what was going on. Everyone was quite buoyant, and given that now it's very much in our hands.
Well, the thing that I never really subscribed to the school of thought that I've always been a bit concerned, had West Ham gone there and won, it was still in our hands. It just becomes a harder job.
Yeah.
But, like you said in the opener, mate, they've blinked, they've lost, go to Stamford Bridge, get a point, and it's done. And then we can all, and I'm not even going to say celebrate, we can just breathe a sigh of relief. And I think you've got a nice little...
The atmosphere will be decidedly better for the last home game than it would have been.
Yeah.
And at least you can, and for all the shit show that the club has been this season, Zerbi's done exactly what he's brought in to do.
Yeah. And in short
I would take my
order
hat off to him.
The thing is, think of what that manager might achieve with us, and I'm getting way ahead of it, but what's he been there? 6 weeks? 7 weeks? Is it even that long?
Not even that, I don't think, is it? He's done, was it 8 games?
Yeah. So he's...
Oh, is it? No, 9 games. Is it 9 games? Or is it 8 games? I've lost track.
His first game.
No, it's not that many, is it? It's 5 games he's played so far.
Maybe 5.
He had 7 games total when he came. So he lost 1, drew 1, won 2, drew 1.
Yeah. So credit to him, but I think we talked a little about this off air, and I've had this sentiment to anyone that wants to hear it. This is not a time to celebrate. If we were to go to Stamford Bridge and get a point win. It's still a disgraceful season.
If we don't go down, this was as close to staring into the abyss as you get, isn't it? And I do not like the look of it.
Yeah.
I don't want to ever be in this position again.
Agreed.
And I'm not sure that I have the confidence in the current management of the club to be able to give Zerbi what he needs to rebuild the team. I don't trust them.
The one thing that popped into my head, and whilst I agree with everything you just said, and I bang the drum that these owners and the CEO and Langer, they just all need to go, and we need to start over properly start over. Do you think there's a danger, though, if we do that the new ownership would want their own man, in that Zerbi wouldn't be their pick?
I mean, it's possible.
And then there's more unnecessary turbulence.
Yeah, I don't know.
Unless, of course, they bring in someone like Klopp.
It just depends on if they've learned anything from this season. I think the lack of footballing people, which we've talked about many times, is an issue. And if you're trying to rebuild a football team, you need football people, not just finance people and business people. I don't mind that if they want to, try and get an extra 20% revenue out of the off the field activities, and that's their focus, as long as somebody involved at a senior level in the club is responsible and knowledgeable about building a football legacy, a team, and not just a team, but a roadmap for how you keep a team performing at a high level, not just for this season, but behind that, you need to be thinking about the long-term evolution of the team, not just the short term. So I'm fine with getting good young players, creating pathways for them to come through, and hiring in the right people to do all those things. But again, if the people that made the mistakes this season be the ones to make the right decisions next time, I'm not sure.
Would you, and I don't know about where you sit on this, but like, would you be appeased in any way if, for example, the current CEO, the current director of football stayed, but they made strategic appointments around them that are football people, and dare I say, maybe one or two Tottenham people?
I'm not sure it works, because ultimately, if the people that come in report into those people, ultimately they have the final say. It's a bit like with Daniel Levy, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who he brought in, ultimately he had the final say, and hardly any decision ever got made without it reaching him at some point. And I worry it will
haunt us, right? He was a micromanager of,
and then all of a sudden, no one could make a decision on anything.
Yeah.
And then when they did, it was awful.
Someone's brought a paperclip. Who did that?
know? I literally think he signed off every piece of stationery in that building.
Yeah. But look, we've jumped into this and got ahead of ourselves somewhat. We need to review.
We got quite philosophical already. Let's go back to the Leeds match, shall we?
Yeah, the Leeds match needs to be talked about. I don't know where I sit on that performance, and it seems like it was ages ago now because so much has happened since. But I can't decide whether it was a good point, which maybe it will prove to be, against a team that are actually know their way around and are a decent outfit. But we just didn't seem to do what we did against Villa in terms of any kind of cutting edge and any kind of proper threat, which was disappointing.
I also think as well that the amount of injuries we've got in attacking positions, we faded as we went into the game.
Yeah.
After about 60 minutes, it looked like we were tired or slowing down. Yeah. And I think that doesn't help. I think we managed to somehow find the extra just to keep going for the Villa game. But for this game, I mean, I felt like we could have scored more.
Yeah, created a bit.
And that the penalty was, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that if it happened to us, we'd have probably wanted it. But I don't. He had absolutely no idea the guy was there, so I think it's a bit harsh, really. But I don't know.
Look, but you've seen.
It's a stupid thing to do, though, wasn't it?
Yeah,
you could have just headed it straight out of play ahead of him. Like that would have been fine.
I think the thing is, I think the referee is almost forced into a bit of a corner, or VAR forced into a corner, whoever's making that decision. As soon as a boot connects with a head, it always looks way worse, you know?
Especially when you've had 14 replays in slow motion from 14.
Exactly. Look, Tel's getting a lot of shit for it, saying, he's so immature and all that. And I'm like, I actually think in that moment, a few players in that team would have made that error, right?
Yeah, a lot older players.
Correct. Yeah. So,
and it was a great goal. What a goal. Unbelievable goal.
Fantastic. And he's got that in his locker. And
I think there's a real player in there, and I think,
this
is
what I was
can get
going
that
to say.
This.
I can't seem to keep up. We own him, don't we? We paid the fee.
We do. We paid the money. 50 million or something. It's a lot of money.
Mil, yeah. So he's ours, okay. But great goal. Look, on reflection, you go that high in the box, you connect with the head, you're asking VAR or the referee to make a decision. But we're talking about penalties or about ours that wasn't given, for me...
It's funny because now they're like, because he called out the referee, said why in the Arsenal game was it 5 minutes to make a decision and they made it 20 seconds and they were done with it. And I've seen at least 4 angles where it looks like there's absolutely no contact on the ball from the opposition player.
Well, a mate of mine, he's an Arsenal fan, and it's the group I meet up with on a Wednesday morning, and we went for a coffee after and we were chatting, and he said, was it a penalty for you? And I go, look, whether it's a penalty or not, my issue isn't so much that. That can happen in any game of football, in any season. Sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. The issue we have a mechanism in place to take away this ambiguity and this issue per se, and the inconsistency on how long it's taking. There needs to be either a time limit around a review.
I like the idea of that.
Yeah. So
to keep the game moving.
If you can't fucking make your mind up in 45 seconds,
then you stick with the original referee's decision.
Move on. Or, and this is maybe more radical, a team each half gets to challenge one call. And
so a bit like cricket.
Yeah, you say, I'm going to challenge this one, and you get one and you burn it up. And that's used then. You've used it. You might go your way, it might not. But you get one. And then then we're not in this position of every fucking little thing. And then while we're talking about it, north of the border, seems to me they wanted Celtic to win that league, didn't they?
Pretty bad, yeah.
Jesus, that is shocking, that decision against Motherwell, and then they've gone on to win it, of course. So, I don't know, it's not for me. Bad decisions can happen. Human beings can make mistakes. Penalties aren't given. We can talk about it all day. But the inconsistency of, like you said, 5 minutes versus 30 seconds, 20 seconds, whatever it is, that's bad. Like, you can't have it take that long for this and that long for this. It needs to just be a fair play.
Just the whole thing feels totally subjective.
Yeah.
There's no objectivity in it at all. And that's not because I feel that they're biased. I think people just will make a judgment based on what they see. But I'm not sure that sometimes I wonder if we're all looking at the same thing. I think do you know what would be really fascinating to do would be, for one match, is to have 4 VAR rooms, right? 4 different fourth officials with the video team all referee the same match and see what the differences were in the results they gave. I'd love to see that. Because then I think that's the issue here, isn't it? It's still the technology. I don't have an issue with the technology. I think the technology is okay. The issue is the human element still, right? Yeah. I still think the human element is the issue. It's more referees refereeing the same game.
Yeah, goal line technology, semi-automated offside, and that I'm probably okay with. I mean, goal line technology in particular, right? That needed to come long ago, and I'm fine with that.
That's a simple one, right? It's
simple. Was it over the line?
Objectively
yes.
Over or not over the line?
Now, would England have won the World Cup in '66 with it? Maybe not.
We shall never know.
Yeah, we'll never know. So, I mean, it's an interesting topic, and I do wonder, with as much noise as there's being made about it, if we will see changes into the new season with VAR. It's not just. I don't think it's.
I doubt it.
It's not just fans talking about it. You now got ex-referees. You've got people making noise.
I just think the problem is they're very reluctant to admit. Apart from individual decisions, they might, like they have said, we got that one wrong. Sorry about that. Yeah. And you nearly get relegated off the back of it.
Yeah, yeah.
But the thing that I think the issue is that admitting that the humans involved are fallible is a problem, because as soon as you admit that, then everyone will question everything all the time. I know they do anyway, but it's like admitting that you can't control a match, and that would never be.
Bringing it all back around then, in the raw light of day, referee's got a second to see that. Would you have given the pen?
Yes.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I didn't see contact.
Yeah.
So when they slowed it down, and even then, I still didn't see the contact. I still don't know what they saw.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just that specific angle they found.
I've read some views that Maddison was looking for it, and I'm like, yeah, but
I don't give a shit if he was.
Same. Like, I've always had this view on that. The attacker is looking to gain.
He didn't dive.
He didn't dive.
I mean,
that's the whole thing.
Exactly.
If he's looking for a booking, then if it's a dive, book him, and he didn't. Yeah.
No, exactly.
But I going back now, 2002 World Cup when Michael Owen against Argentina, absolutely looking for it.
Yeah.
And got it, and we scored. It's.
Wow, I remember that game. Yeah.
But all in kind of reflection, will we reflect on that point? I think we will now and say that was probably a good point, because before Zerbi, we'd probably lose that game.
Oh, yeah. I think the only thing I'll say is that it didn't feel bad to only get a point, but if you have to look at it in context, right? We still haven't won a home game since the 6th of December.
Yeah.
Right? So that was probably the closest we've come. That and the Brighton match, the 2 games, we've probably come closest with Zerbi since then. And it makes it feel more damaging psychologically more than mathematically. And I think that we need to regain some semblance of form at our home ground. It's become a millstone. I think every team thinks they can come to our home ground and get something, and some of that has to change. And I don't know, that feels more like a mental thing than anything else, right? Yeah. We need to learn to consistently win at home again, and I think that's the difference between us being bottom half and top half of the table.
Well, our away form was third best in the league.
Yeah, it's mental.
I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Keeping us up, though, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So, looking ahead, we're obviously playing later than normally scheduled. It would have been the weekend that we played. I think that's been a bit of a blessing, given that
Well,
he's
we
going
had
to
to
have
give Chelsea a chance to get beaten at Wembley, didn't we?
Yeah, and he's got
Unfortunate
a full
for them.
8 days. So Zerbi would have had a full 8 days, really, between games, which is great news. Chelsea have gone and played, as I understand it, a pretty abject cup final. Bit of a shit game by all accounts.
Yeah, didn't see anyone who enjoyed it, apart from Man City fans.
So there's been this narrative building for a long time now, and I've heard it a lot on TalkSport. I've heard it on various other outlets. Wouldn't it be lovely if Chelsea were the team to relegate Tottenham? Now, I'm going to flip that and say, wouldn't it be lovely to go to Stamford Bridge, win, assure safety? Like, that would be nice. Like,
it would be a great place to celebrate, yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. When did we actually last win there in the league?
Oh,
I know we won there.
I can't remember the year, but it was, I think, Ericsson and
That's right.
Dele Alli scored
2018.
2-0, was it? With a 2-0 win?
Ericsson scored, I think it was a free kick or it was from open play, but it was quite far out. And I do. Yeah, you're right. Yes. So that was 2017.
Dele Alli scored a really good half volley or something. I can't remember exactly. But
so it's been a while.
Yes, it has.
Chelsea have beaten much better Tottenham sides at Stamford Bridge. We don't get much there.
Even when they've got poor teams, they seem to turn up against us as well, right?
But they've ended up in a cup final as well. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I didn't check. I didn't really look at their route to the final, but I
think they won their quarterfinal 7 or 8-0, didn't they? They had someone.
Was it like Barnsley or something?
Someone rubbish, yeah. Someone lower league. But I mean, a draw. If we get a draw, it's done. You know.
Yeah, because goal difference. I mean, it's like swing of 13 goals. Sorry, it would have to be. I think now after today's. Oh no, 12 goals.
12.
Yeah, probably 13 goals.
Yeah. So I mean.
Assuming it goes goal difference and then head to head.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
goal difference, goal scored head to head.
Yeah,
I think
goal difference would be fine.
Yeah.
So it's as good as another point. So a point puts us 3 points clear. So even if we were to draw against Chelsea, lose against Everton, and West Ham won against Leeds, we're staying at 1 goal difference.
Yeah.
Which is quite embarrassing, but
it is.
I'll take it.
And you would not want to take a kick in on the last day of the season against Everton, because even survival, it would still. I think that match, if we win or we get enough to be safe against Chelsea, I think there might be protests on the final game.
I'm sure.
Not against the team, not against the manager, but against the owners.
All of that, for good, has been parked, right?
Yeah, because we all came together, I think, to do what was needed, right, which was to get behind the players and the manager to try and give them enough to get them over the line. And if we get there, then I think focus reverts to the ownership of the club and the management of the club, which has been woeful. Yeah,
which we covered earlier a little bit, but it falls into focus when West Ham are actually a cautionary tale for us. They won a European trophy, they've made some bad decisions. They hired a manager not too dissimilar to Frank, in that Potter's only really been good at Brighton, where every manager's been good. You know, it didn't work. It's not on Nuno if they go down. He's actually got a decent point return for them. The similarities are eerie, and it's if the ownership and the powers that be at Tottenham Hotspur continue to do what they have done, we will live this again. If we make some significant changes, then we can kick on and hopefully.
I'm not sure if you saw it, I think I've mentioned this before. There's an issue with the contract that West Ham have got on the
yes, I said
stadium,
that. Yes,
right?
Yes. The taxpayer, isn't it?
Sadiq Khan, who is a massive gooner, by the way, so no surprises that he would come out and say this. He said everyone who's not a Tottenham fan should be hoping that Tottenham get relegated, because if not, we'll be paying $2.5 million a year for West Ham to stay in that stadium.
Yeah, because we talk
about... That's a Boris Johnson special, that contract.
Yeah. We talk about our big, beautiful stadium. I'm not suggesting that the London Stadium is beautiful, but it's big. It holds, I think, 58,000,
No, 60. It's over 60.
60,000.
Yeah. It's similar to ours.
So you've got a bit of a bloody white elephant there. Once you're down, you're not filling that, I wouldn't have thought.
I don't think they're filling it at the moment.
Yeah. So, and also... Look, there's been a lot made of Chelsea possibly relegating us or West Ham relegating us and us going down and them staying up. I'm like, well, it's kind of funny that we'll be the ones to stay up and they actually the ones to go down.
Yeah.
I don't really care. They seem to treat us with this cup final mentality. Well, they won't have that game to worry about next season.
Now they can focus on the league.
Yeah, and Arsenal can be quite thankful as well that we took 4 points off City this season. I have to remind them.
Exactly.
So we've done our bit there for them.
So they still owe us. They only took 3 off of West Ham.
Indeed. So for the Chelsea game, one thing I'll throw out there: do you think Maddison maybe starts 55 minutes or something? Yeah,
I mean, you can get 60 minutes out of him or something.
I think so. I think it's worth the risk, especially at this stage of the season. So let's say
he looked good when he came on. I thought he looked,
did.
You know.
Let's say he starts, and then he does well, and then he starts against Everton, and then he maybe has a minor breakdown, or he's just fatigued. We're going into the end of the season anyway. He's not going to the World Cup, so I think it's a
good summer's rest.
Yeah, the team kind of picks itself other than that, doesn't it?
So I think it's same again, right?
Yeah,
pretty much. I think with definitely Palhinha for the away game at Chelsea in the team. I don't think there was any injuries. I don't think there's anyone coming back. The only one that might come back is Solanke.
Yeah,
there's a story about him. I didn't check the news yet, but they were talking about him being ready maybe for this match. So maybe him instead of Colin, maybe
potentially. I could see it. Yeah, I mean it's an interesting one. One thing I forgot to mention, the Leeds game, and I'll say it now because he's going to start, of course, against Chelsea. Shout out, not that he probably listens. I know he doesn't listen, but I'm really, really happy for Kinsky, given the barrage of shit he put up with.
Those two saves, one at the beginning, one at the end. Top draw, absolutely.
And let's not forget the Wolves away save.
Yeah, and also he looks really calm.
Yeah,
it's not flapping at stuff.
Yeah,
I think he's much better with his feet than Vicario.
Well, Vicario got, and at times Richard Stafford in New Zealand touched on this. When he makes errors or he flaps or he gets emotional,
it's contagious.
The back four react to that.
Yeah, they look uncomfortable as well.
Yeah, but so Kinsky looks really, really good. Finally, we've got a goalkeeper there, I think. He's only 21, isn't he, or 22?
Yeah, he's very young. 22, I think he is.
Yeah, so a shout out to him. He's been really good. But as you said, the rest of the team, it kind of picks itself unless he does something out of left field.
Weird.
The only thing I could see being tried, maybe it's not to be tried now, maybe we try it against Everton if we're safe, is Porro right wing and Spence right back, like Moani.
I think that what he hasn't done is a lot of chopping and changing.
Yeah.
He hasn't tried to do too many different things. I think he's tried to build a consistent team playing in a certain way.
Yeah,
that they're comfortable with and that they've got confidence playing now. And I think you can start to see that. And I don't think he'll make many changes at all. I think he's found a formula with the players available to him to get points from matches. And I think he'll stick with it for the last 2 games.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think Vicario is going to play for Tottenham again.
Which I'm fine with. What about
me too.
Romero? I think he's gone, which I'm fine with.
But interestingly, he could have gone to Argentina now and started to prepare for the World Cup.
And he's not.
Could have done that to start his rehab because he wants to go to the World Cup, obviously. He's decided to stay in London to be with the team, which I think, it's what you would expect of your captain, but I don't think he would have necessarily been the first thing on his mind normally. He's always been very country first, hasn't he?
For me, is Romero a competent, good defender? Yes. Is he a good passer of the ball? Yes. But I just think he's a bit of a poor leader at times. Decisions he makes, things that he does. It's not what you want from your captain.
By example, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's gone in the summer as well. And I'm not, and I think we said it, like, you know what? Of all the positions that we have to replace, I'm not so worried about that. I think we can go and find, like, Senesi's, we've been linked with him and
Robertson.
And we've got Vuskovic to come into the squad as well. And we've got players. And Danso's done very well. I think he's a good, solid player. He's not hasn't got the passing range of Romero, but
yeah,
I feel comfortable having him there in the back four. Well, so, yeah, I think we'll be okay.
It's interesting, messaging one of the groups I'm in down here. Well, we had him on, Rossi, who was on some time ago. Yeah. We're getting back on, my mate who lives around the corner. He said, celebrate, no, happy, yes. So much needs to change both on and off the field. We can't have the same players starting next season that are finishing this. And I really do agree with him. Like, there needs to be And also there's a point for me also of, okay, so let's say we avoid relegation, which we should. We can really start afresh. We've covered this before. We've got Vuskovic, we've got Moore, we've got Ash Phillips, and the one we didn't mention, I don't know how he's done, is the Korean kid Min-hyeok.
Yeah, I don't think he played very much at Coventry.
Yeah. So
it was a weird loan, that one as well.
Yeah, very.
They're
weird.
on a title challenge in the Championship. He was unlikely to get game time in front unless someone else had gone down long term injured. But he hardly touched a ball there.
Yeah.
Which again, a lot to be said for about how we're managing the loans for our players. We've had some awful loans again.
Yeah. And then
but some good ones. Some have worked out, like Mikey Moore obviously works out well.
I think Moore. And the thing about Moore is
Phillips.
Moore for me going to Scotland. That's a pretty unforgiving division, not because it's a great standard. The opposite, in fact. But you are playing.
He's had all those old firm games, which are probably quite spicy.
You're playing in some dodgy conditions. You're being kicked. You're being Paul Gascoigne, when he signed for Glasgow Rangers after being in Lazio, I remember reading one of his books, and he said it took him 3 months to get used to the physicality of that league as compared to Serie A. And that hasn't changed. It's a very physical division. It's, so hopefully Moore comes back as a more well-rounded player. And we're only going to have, if we were to make a run to both cup finals next season, which we won't, well, maybe we will, but if we were to, I think the maximum amount of games we can play, isn't it something like it's less than 55 or 56? Yeah,
it's not many.
Right? Yeah, so
it's certainly, we don't need a massive squad. We're only going to be playing for the majority of the season. We'll be playing one game a week, maybe two for periods where we have League Cup games in the lead up to sort of January, February when the final is. February usually. And then from January, obviously, you've got the FA Cup games, but they usually weekends, not midweek, aren't they?
Correct.
Unless you have replays.
Look, let's see what happens. But first order of business, let's get the job done.
We could also end up playing a lot more games on a Saturday for a change.
Yeah, it'd be fun, wouldn't it?
That'd be a novelty.
Well, and as you know, and this is maybe information for our listeners and viewers, but I am due back in August, and I've been a bit intentional about not quite booking my flights until it's all secured, and I know that I'm going to be in England for a couple of the early weekends that will be actually Premier League football we can go and watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I think you've also got to wait until Qantas can afford enough fuel to get your plane all the way here as well, haven't you?
Bloody right, yeah, bloody right. But yeah, well, look, bringing it back around to the Chelsea game, we never did close out with a bit of a prediction. Look, I think we're playing a team and a club in a bit of disarray. Yes, they've appointed Alonso, which is, for me, a weird appointment. Why would he go there? And I think it's a 4-year deal. Again, weird. And so they won't have that new manager bounce. They just lost the cup. They're a very muddled team. For me, they're made up of mercenaries. I don't know if a lot of those players understand the fixture. I think we can go and get something at Stamford Bridge, and they've not been very good. I think the last home game in the league, they lost to Forest 3-0, was it?
Yeah.
Is it McFarlane, the guy that's in charge of
them?
Yeah. So if I'm looking at Zerbi and him from a tactician's perspective and knows his way around the league, I don't know. I'll back Zerbi all day long. So let's see. I think we can get a point, thus surviving, but importantly, not celebrating. Just being a little bit relieved and making sure that we see some meaningful change moving forward. Well, I think
take the anxiety out of it a little bit for the last game. To
be honest, mate, if we can get a point or better, if we can win and then say, I really don't want to stay up until 1 a.m. for the last game of the season. I really don't want to have to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's your prediction, mate? I'm going to go 1-1.
Yeah, I think a draw as well. I think maybe 1-1 is a fair result. And as you said, survival would be a relief rather than an achievement.
Yeah, it's not.
I guess the question is, if we do get to the stage where we're safe, we need to start thinking about the future again. And if we get safe against Chelsea, do you think that we'll see the change for Spurs and all the others step up their push to try and get change at the club from the management? I think that's quite
interesting,
likely.
Right? Because, like we said, they've somewhat parked it to get behind the team.
Yeah.
But this group of owners, leadership, whatever we want to call them, they can't get away with this. They can't, they can't be the ones to crow that they appointed Zerbi. sorry, doesn't work like that.
He was only needed because of how badly you fucked up the previous 2 appointments. It's like,
yeah. So
it was literally the last throw of the dice, wasn't it, as well?
Correct. I don't want to ever live through this again. I was sick of thinking about it, and neither should they, but they should be gone for me. I think we need a new CEO, a new director of football. But apparently, as we covered with our friend Ben, the German football journalist, that's all gone a bit quiet on if we're getting that guy.
Yeah, the whole Kel thing seems to have gone. I think all decisions have been predicated on
if we stay
waiting until we knew what league we were going to be in,
including signings of like Senesi, Robertson, and others.
Yeah, and I think that Kel, although I think we summarised effectively, I don't think he's a good fit for the club at all.
No.
But
yeah,
so that seems like par of the course for us is to bring in all the wrong people in all the wrong positions. But at least he's a football person. That's the only thing I can say. He's a former player, former captain. He came through the ranks at Dortmund. And even if he's got weaknesses in him, he has got that, which, we don't see from most of the people running the club at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, getting ahead of myself, but looking ahead to the very last game at home, will you be going to that?
Maybe. Yeah. I think I might.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be an opportunity, right, to have a bit of fun at least at Spurs.
Yeah.
I mean, we never know what it might bring. But yeah. So look, I think, like I said, going back to Chelsea game.
Just to mention that our next episode will be episode 100.
Yes.
And we'll be recording on Thursday.
Yes.
So we'll get one in after the Chelsea game and before the Everton game. So all things should be clear by then, or not.
Yes. Well, we're even know
something will be clear.
Yeah, we're even know we won't. Well, it's the encouraging thing, like we said, it's a Chelsea game. Even if we were to lose, we're quite good at drawing at home, aren't we? We don't win many, but we seem to get a few draws. That's all. I
wouldn't want to have to rely on it though.
No, I want a point. I want a point against Chelsea, just so it's pretty much done. But yeah, look, and then onwards, and the other thing this is really darkened for me, and there's been many reasons why it's been darkened, is the World Cup. Like, I've really struggled to get up for that and be excited for it. Like, once the football starts, I'm hoping I will enjoy it, but I've not even had time to reflect or think about that, or England or any of that, because of this.
Yeah, it's chaos over there at the moment though, isn't it?
Oh yeah, this is it. I mean, America.
Apparently the hotel bookings are down.
Yep.
Ticket sales are down. Everything's down.
Trump and Infantino will tell you, no, everything's fine.
Yeah.
It's like complete gaslighting.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure the stadiums will end up being full somehow, because they'll probably give them away or they do something. But I have an account, as you know, for the FIFA account when I log in, and I could log in later today. But there are tickets for games like Saudi Arabia versus, I think it's Curacao, but it's like $600. I mean, no one's going to pay that. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, indeed. So I think a point away to Chelsea, onwards, nothing more for me to add other than to always come on you Spurs.
Yeah, thanks to everyone who's listened in. Please like and subscribe to the podcast to tickle the algorithm so we can get in front of more Spurs supporters. And to close us out, as Glenn said, come on you Spurs.
Let me be the one that you turn to, someone you can rely on, closer each day, home and away.